Questioned by the media, LeBron would deflect and list a group of great players he would enjoy playing with. See if any names stick out.
Would you like to play with Kevin?
Absolutely. Ask me if I like to play with Jimmy Butler. Say right now. Ask me about Kyrie Irving, Giannis. Ask me about Embiid, Ben Simmons. Go ahead, all of them.
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a good day. I wanted to check up on the most recent video from the channel Woo Hoops. Now up to 18,000 subscribers. Really cool up and coming or new channel, relatively new. I've reacted to a couple of their videos so far, and every single time I've gotten really good reception from you guys, and it seems like a lot of you are subscribed as well. So yeah, I think this is a new channel in the mix here to react to, because every single time I see a video of his pop up, I'm kind of, you know, if I'm not going to react to it, I'm definitely going to watch it on my own. So better off we have a conversation about whatever it is, as long as it's an interesting topic. This one is how the Lakers stole Luka Dončić. And I know everyone is talking about this to death. However, I want to see his view. I want to see his insight, because I think he's going to try to go deep on this one. At least if the thumbnail has anything to say about it. It sure looks like an investigation board. So I'm curious what he has come up with here. And let's see, the video has about 31,000 views so far, and it's only been out for a short time. So yeah, I think this is a banger. Everybody, I'm going to leave the original video down below, the link to it, that is, in the description. So if you guys want to check out his channel, or if you want to watch this video without my rambling, go right ahead. It's there for you. Everybody else, please leave this video a like. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, let's keep the good times rolling over here. Let's go.
On February 1st, 2025, the Lakers would march into Madison Square Garden and beat the Knicks without their star player, Anthony Davis. LeBron James would turn back the clock and deliver a memorable performance that ultimately no one will remember. Why? Because just shortly after the game would come the most shocking trade in NBA history. A trade that is so shocking that perhaps conspiracy theories are easier to stomach than what is presented. But when you look at all the events that led to this moment, it becomes even more unbelievable. This is truly a story you have to see to believe. To begin, we must go all the way back to 2000. On January 4th, 2000, a young billionaire by the name of Mark Cuban will purchase the Dallas Mavericks to become their owner.
Times have changed. The internet billionaire paid close to $280 million for the Mavericks, a record for an NBA franchise.
Cuban would quickly differentiate himself from the rest of the league for his eccentricities, a kind of a modern-day Jerry Buss.
It's a business that I'm willing to commit as much money as it takes, whatever energy, funding, to make this team successful.
Bringing in cutting-edge innovation to the league, investing in his players like no other, and redefining the relationship between an owner and a team. Despite the Mavericks winning over 30 games only once since 1990, after Cuban took over the team, they would win over 50 games for 11 straight seasons, including a finals run in 2006 and a championship in 2011. Now let's go back to the early 2000s.
Man, just think he turned it around in 6 years. I mean, he turned it around from day one, but in 6 years, it was already in the finals. Yeah, this would have never happened under Mark Cuban's watch.
2 years after Cuban bought the team, also in Dallas was a 30-year-old med school student named Nico Harrison who would apply for a job at Nike. His job would be to represent different players signed to the company. In the summer of 2003, as Nike would send their top executives to recruit a high schooler, LeBron James, Nico Harrison, the junior executive, was therefore tasked with recruiting one sneaker free agent, Kobe Bryant.
Nico Harrison was a young executive at Nike. He was not the guy who was negotiating the deals, but his job was to win Kobe Bryant over on the front line, on the ground.
Harrison would be successful in the pursuit. Kobe Bryant's agent at the time, none other than Rob Pelinka.
Yeah, I know.
And they did this deal together, basically.
This is just crazy, though. Seeing these two. Yeah, I heard they were old friends, but this is why I wanted to watch this one.
Rob and Nico. And over the next 20 years, when Nike did something with Kobe, which was a lot, it was Nico Harrison executing it. It was Rob Pelinka negotiating it. That they did this for years.
But the way he started trusting me was really my approach to everything I did.
Right.
It was the same approach he had to basketball.
In the years to come, Pelinka and Harrison would be ingratiated into Kobe's inner circle. According to Ramona Shelburne, they would travel the world and have joint family vacations. These were the two people that Kobe had his ultimate trust in, through his ups and downs, including a very public trade demand. On May 30th, 2007, Kobe would publicly demand a trade from the Los Angeles Lakers.
See, I knew him and Rob were close. I didn't know how close, whatchamacallit, I didn't know how close he was to, I'm drawing a blank, the Dallas GM.
You say right here on this show that you want to be traded?
Yeah, I would like to be traded, yeah.
I remember
How
this.
bad did the situation get? The Kobe Bryant was booed by LA fans on opening night. Now, one of the deals that was very close to happening was a deal with the Chicago Bulls, where the Lakers would trade out Kobe Bryant and in turn receive Joakim Noah, Ben Gordon, Tyus Thomas, and Luol Deng. However, when Kobe got wind of the deal, he would publicly veto it and not waive his no-trade clause. Why? Because Kobe realized that the Bulls, by sending away Luol Deng, would be deployed of talent. If Kobe were to be dealt to Chicago, he would want to play with Deng. And ultimately, a deal can never materialize. Kobe thus stayed in LA and won 2 more championships.
Okay, little known fact, and I heard this from Mark Cuban himself, though. There was a trade offer. I believe it was 1-for-1. There might have been like a draft pick involved or something like that. But the 2 big dogs was Kobe for Dirk. And guess what? Mark Cuban said no, because he was that kind of a loyal team owner. And he always said he would never trade Dirk unless Dirk wanted to go. Then he would help Dirk get to where he wants to go. And he is a damn man of his word. I'll tell you that. Because he was like, I didn't even consider it. It was like, nope. And then he even told Dirk about the trade, and Dirk told Mark, he was like, you should have done it. That's Kobe freaking Bryant, and he's like, no, man, I'm not going to do that to you. But I love it. I love that it went down that way. And he was treating Luka the exact same way, saying I'd sooner divorce my wife than I would trade Luka. But then he sold 3/4 of the team. And now this happened without his saying. It's crazy what different personalities are. And some people, they say something and they stand by it. Others, there's no loyalty.
However, in the 2011 offseason, with the Lakers being swept by the eventual champs, the Dallas Mavericks, it was clear that a move was needed for LA to contend again. A move that could bridge the current and the future, to pair the aging Kobe with a young star for one final run. And the Lakers managed to do exactly that. On December 8th, 2011, Adrian Wojnarowski would break the news that the Hornets were working to finalize a deal to send Chris Paul to the Lakers. Now keep in mind that this was during the NBA lockout, where tension between players and owners, between small market teams and big market teams, are already at an all-time high. A move like this while the lockout was ongoing may be a little bit problematic. Thus, just an hour later, Woj would reveal that there are many NBA owners who had pushed back on the deal. Then, it happened. The deal was dead. Woj would reveal that the NBA had caved to the pressure from other owners. One day later, the identity of the owner who was leading the charge against the trade was revealed. None other than Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban. Saying, quote, "We went through this lockout for a reason. One of the reasons is to give small market teams the ability to keep their stars and the ability to compete." Now, let's talk about Chris Paul for a second, a Nike athlete. One of the main ways to identify if Nike is serious about a player is if they're given a camp. The Chris Paul basketball camp was a big one, a camp that made a lasting impression on future stars like Steph Curry.
That's cool.
LeBron, like you said, I went to his camp. Chris Paul, Steve Nash. I got to spend a week with each at different camps this summer.
Stephen Curry, by 2013, has made a name for himself.
So LeBron, Steve Nash, and Chris Paul, man, that's that's some good picks as far as active players at that time to learn from. That's cool, Steph.
Leading the underdog Warriors all the way to the Western Conference semis. And to make it better, that offseason, the rising Curry would become a sneaker free agent. His current shoe brand, Nike, is in prime position to keep him. Nico Harrison, just like years prior with Kobe, was tasked with re-signing Curry. But Curry was really just an afterthought, again as Nike was more focused on up-and-coming stars like Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, both who were given their own basketball camps. Nike did not offer Steph his own basketball camp. Not only that, Del Curry, Steph Curry's father, would allege that one of the executives pronounced Stephen Curry's name as Stephon Curry. And it doesn't just end there.
I remember all
PowerPoint slide would have Kevin Durant's name instead of Curry.
They shanked it.
Yeah, I mean, Nike
they didn't take Steph seriously at all. That's the main reason why he never was a Nike hooper, and he never will be a Nike hooper. I believe he hates Nike because of this. He was that was an insult.
A mistake, but in all honesty, if he would have stayed with Nike, his business would be a monster right now.
On May 7th, 2017, Rob Pelinka will be hired by the Los Angeles Lakers as their new GM.
That I can finally know that my running mate is here, my partner.
In just his second year as a GM, Pelinka and the Lakers brass were able to convince free agent LeBron James to sign with them, joining a young team with no established stars. The open secret that season was that the Lakers were likely going to use their assets to trade for Pelicans star Anthony Davis.
And did you see the look on Anthony Davis's face? Yeah, he said, "That's my boy. I'm going to be playing with him next year."
LeBron would claim that it would be, quote, amazing to play with AD. When questioned by the media, LeBron would deflect and list a group of great players he would enjoy playing with. See if any names stick out.
Would you like to play with Kevin?
Absolutely. Ask me if I like to play with Jimmy Butler. Say right now. Ask me about Kyrie Irving, Giannis. Ask me about Embiid, Ben Simmons. Go ahead, all of them.
Ben
Luka
Simmons.
Dončić. Ask me right now.
Yes, Luka Dončić, who was still a rookie 2 months into his career.
Yeah, that's just the difference. That's the difference between generations. You know, the old generation would have said, I want to beat all those guys. I want to beat Ben Simmons. I want to beat Kyrie Irving, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, I want to play with all these guys. Gimme, 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 gimme.
Was already thrown into comparisons with AD, Kyrie, and KD by LeBron. And Doncic himself would share the same admiration.
What was your favorite player growing up in the NBA that you admired?
LeBron James. He's like my idol, so I'm looking forward for that, yeah.
Now, who could have guessed that in just a little over 6 years later, these two, through incomprehensible circumstances, will end up as teammates?
Which, by the way, it makes perfect sense. 25-year-old. I mean, now he's currently 25. So how young was he back then? Like 18 years old? You know? Yeah. LeBron James was everywhere at that time. And from watching in Europe, yeah, it makes perfect sense. LeBron was the face of the NBA. I mean, LeBron or Curry, take your pick. But the media was pushing LeBron way more than Curry.
But before we get to that, a quick word from today's sponsor. Hey everyone, I'm super excited to talk to you today about HelloFresh,
Hey, congratulations.
America's #1 meal kit. If you're tired of the usual meal planning stress, HelloFresh delivers fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. Plans change and life gets busy. That's why HelloFresh lets you easily customize your delivery from week to week. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and HelloFresh agrees. In fact, they're giving all subscribers free breakfast for life.
All right, let's see if Wu is an honest man or if he's like Mr. Beast when it comes to his ads. Because Mr. Beast will like streamline this bar, the status bar to like here real fast. And then from here to the end will take like double the time. So let's see if this just goes in a straight line.
That means you'll enjoy a totally free breakfast item with every single HelloFresh delivery.
If I can not be distracted.
HelloFresh now has more options to support your wellness journey than ever before. Dig into their biggest menu yet with 50 plus dinner options and even more market items that can suit any healthy lifestyle. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description and use my code HoopsFeb10 and receive 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the US. The link and code are valid in all countries and the respective local discount will apply. Thank you so much, HelloFresh. And now, back to the video.
Hey, honest man,
now,
you did good.
Back to the Lakers' very public pursuit of Anthony Davis.
I thought so, Woo.
A shadow that hung over the team for the entire season, with proposed trades being leaked day in and day out. Ultimately, the trade did not happen. For Rob Pelinka, another public trade demand, another no deal. Not only that, the bad year continues for Pelinka, as Magic Johnson, the Lakers' president of basketball operations, will quit on the final day of regular season.
People around the Laker office was telling me Rob was saying things, and
Rob Pelinka,
and I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough, and so on and on. So I started getting calls from my friends outside of basketball saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball.
And these are people you trust.
Exactly. When I took the job, you know how many agents called me and said, you got to watch out for him? And I said, I got to give the guy a fair chance.
That summer, the Lakers would finally trade for Anthony Davis, failed to sign Kawhi Leonard after, again, a very public pursuit. But
I'm going to say something a little touchy, I guess. Okay. I never trusted Rob Pelinka as far as like on a human level. And this goes back to Kobe Bryant's celebration of life. The speech that he made on stage, it seemed he was trying so hard to convince everyone that him and Kobe were tight. And I'm not saying they weren't tight, but if you go back and you watch it someday, just remember what I said there and just, keep that in the back of your mind while you watch what he says. Something about it just said snake. And I was like, nah, I'm not buying it, Like when Jordan went up there and made his speech, hell, man, when like Taurasi went up there, like everyone else, it was from the heart. And Rob Pelinka, it felt like a politician up there. And it didn't feel genuine or honest whatsoever. Anyways, I'm curious what you guys think. I've always seen a snake in Rob Pelinka. And I think that's why Magic Johnson he bullied Magic Johnson out because he had to share power with Magic Johnson. And with Magic out, he doesn't have to do that anymore. It's just him and LeBronto.
Would manage to win a championship, so I guess not that bad after all. On June 28th, 2021, Nico Harrison would be hired by Mark Cuban as the general manager and president of basketball operations. PJ Washington, A++ moves that ultimately led them to an NBA Finals run.
Yep, very good moves.
But something strange happened earlier that season. On December 27th, 2023, Mark Cuban would sell his majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks.
There's a shakeup going on this morning in the ownership ranks of the NBA.
In an unexpected move, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban has agreed to sell the majority of his stake in the team. The family of Miriam Adelson, the widow of the GOP donor and casino magnate Sheldon Adelson, they're the prospective buyers of the team.
Probably one of the more shocking NBA transactions of the last few years, and the details are still emerging. But it won't be his team anymore. The Adelson family will have control, and they will have one of their own as the governor of the team, which will report and deal with the NBA.
The new governor in charge?
The two owners that I thought would never sell was Mark Cuban and Michael Jordan. And then they both sold at the same time. And I'm still looking around, trying to figure out exactly why. I think it's financial. I think because the league is possibly going to be losing money soon. I don't know. That's just my assumption. But the fact that the two people that I thought would never do it did it at the same freaking time, there's something to this.
Patrick Dumont, the son-in-law of Miriam Adelson.
He married into money. Obviously you're charming. You managed to marry into this amazing family that makes a lot of money or has a lot of money. That's the other thing. They really don't. They don't care. They don't care enough. They don't care about Dallas. They're not from Dallas. They're not Dallas people. It's a real estate play for them.
And with Dumont in charge, he would give Harrison all the roster decision power to lead the Mavericks into a post-Cuban era.
Patrick, he's the owner. Obviously, he's the ultimate decision maker, but he entrusts in J. Kidd and I to lead this team, and he's putting the trust into us.
Under Cuban's leadership, there was a very walking on eggshells approach when it came to criticism towards Luka Dončić.
By the way, he doesn't take his conditioning seriously. Every person who worked at the Mavericks was terrified of this guy and wanted to kiss his ass while he was there so they could secure their future.
Nico Harrison was less fond of Doncic. As a disciple of Kobe Bryant, Harrison believed that Doncic lacked the drive for hard work that was essential in an all-time great.
I mean, this is one of those things that I kind of agree with him, and I see where he's coming from. I still don't know if I would have traded Luka, though, man. I don't think I would have done it. I really don't. But I understand what he's saying. I have the same concerns about him. Can he stay in shape? Will he take it serious? Because he's got the potential to be one of the greatest of all time. But will he push himself to get there? Or will he let his body... See, the difference is okay, Shaq was drafted, 92? He didn't let his body go for 10 years. 10 or 11 years. Right around there. Because it was about 02, 03 that he started letting himself get fat, and he wasn't really getting back in great shape throughout the season. Luka, it kind of started happening within the first few years. So that's a dangerous sign to see. And I don't know. Would you guys have done it? I have trouble with this one. This one, I could see it from both sides. But I don't know. It's not like he got really fat, right? It's
conditioning concerns. It was the belief that he was going to break down. It was the fact they didn't believe in him. They didn't want to build a culture around him. And your superstar is always going to be the most impactful thing in the culture of the franchise.
It also didn't help that the Mavericks analytics department also seemed to be a lot lower on Luka than most. An early red flag regarding the new attitude towards Luka can be traced to the finals Game 3, when Brian Windhorst would launch a scathing attack towards Doncic.
The officials gave him wide latitude, but he's blown by repeatedly over and over through this series. Boston is totally attacking him on defense. He does almost everything else so well. His teammates have begged him. His coaches have begged him.
Despite the public criticism, no one in the Mavs front office would come to Luka's defense.
I heard nothing from the Mavericks.
No.
Wow.
And from ownership through the front office to the coach, I was standing in the arena for 2 days on end. I wasn't dodging anybody. I went to the press conferences. I was in Luka's press conference. I was standing on the court. Nobody said anything to me.
Damn.
And with Luka's Supermax extension coming up, Nico Harrison
Where's Mark Cuban at, man? Yeah. Damn.
Difficult decisions to make. But coming off the finals run, the Mavericks would double down on the Kyrie-Luka core, arming them with their best supporting cast to date. In a way, what the Mavericks did for Luka and Kyrie was what the Lakers haven't been doing lately with LeBron and AD. After a disastrous Russell Westbrook trade in 2022, the Lakers would wait a full season before trading away Westbrook at the 2023 deadline, and despite making the Western Conference Finals soon after, Pelinka would stand pat, sitting out 2 of the last 3 deadlines. Pelinka's rationale? He would be using the picks to make a bigger splash in the offseason. So, what happened during the offseason? The Lakers would be only one of 3 teams to not make any moves, which brings us to the 2025 NBA season. Rob Pelinka's reputation at this point is in the gutters, developing the reputation of a GM who was very good at gaslighting ownership, as a report came out that he had successfully convinced Ginny Buss to put all of the blame of the Westbrook trade on Frank Vogel.
Yep.
The idea that Rob Pelinka would have convinced Ginny Buss.
Snake. I didn't know about that, by the way, but it just plays right into it.
And has been able to convince Ginny Buss that Russell Westbrook was either all LeBron's fault or the fact that it didn't work was all Frank Vogel's fault. That man is a wizard when it comes to workplace politics.
Yet, despite all
I'm hoping that Genie figures it all out soon. I'm hoping the Luka thing might have been step one of figuring it out and saying, screw all this. Because her team is being run by LeBron James and Rob Pelinka. And, yeah, I hope she wakes up and takes back the authority of her team and gets rid of both of them and moves on with Luka and builds a team around them, gets a new general manager, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I'm hoping. Even though I don't like the Lakers, I got no beef with Genie, tell you the truth. I've never had any beef with the bus, like with Jerry Bus or Genie Bus. The Suns a little bit, like Jim Bus. Oh man, I got a little bit of beef with him. I'm not a fan of his, but Genie, I think she's pretty cool. The only problem is I think she had it right with Magic. Magic was gonna take care of the team for her and look after her best interest. But then when she combined Rob Pelinka with Magic, that was when it all went wrong. It all went to hell right there. Rob pushed out Magic, and then Rob and LeBron combined took complete authority of the team together because they have a power move. There's your star, and there's the guy who's making all your trades. You know, what do you do without us? Because we're like a package deal at this point. What do you do? So I hope she gets rid of them both is what I really hope.
public criticism, Pelinka didn't cave.
Yes, we would do a trade with both picks if that would lead to sustainable Lakers excellence. We would also use one pick to make a marginal upgrade if we felt like it was the right thing to do.
But this season, with the Lakers exceeding preseason expectations, the pressure of going all in grew as the team neared the end of LeBron's tenure.
I think the LeBron James era is going to last another 6 months to 18 months. And I think the Lakers should try their hardest to build the championship team those 2 years.
On January 7th, 2025, the Lakers
I
would
think
be
they should build for the future.
in Dallas as the 5th seed in the Western Conference, having just won 7 of 10 games after inserting Max Christie into the starting lineup. The Mavericks, on the other hand,
I'm sorry.
was
Here's what I would do. This is not really what I would do. I would have traded LeBron a long time ago. But if I was like, if I was soft, this is what I would do. I'd say, LeBron, we're building for the future. You can be a part of it if you really want to retire here, or you can not. I'll trade you, no problem. But I'm going to need you to come off the bench, and I'm going to pay you $20 million a year. And you can stick around for as long as you want. Once again, that's if I was Genie. If I was really me, I would have traded LeBron years ago. In fact, I would have never brought him to my team. So just saying, but that's really what I would do. Like, LeBron, if you care about our future and you know you're on your final years here, I'll still pay you 20, and but I want you to come off the bench, and I want you here for your leadership, because we're going to be a young team moving forward. You know, Luka's going to be the star, and we're going to build around Luka. Sorry if you don't like it, but you can go to another team. I'll trade you. You know, I think that's fair.
Underperforming preseason expectations. Despite all the concerns with Luka's defense over the summer, he seemed to not have gotten better, but worse in that category, with multiple clips of defensive lapses going viral. But to call it underperforming is also underselling the team's potential, as their starting lineup with a healthy Luka was literally the top of the league in net rating and going 6-0 when utilized. Doncic was also noticing something very peculiar. Everyone who he seemed to care about within the organization was beginning to get fired. But back to January 7th. That morning, Rob Pelinka would be invited by Nico Harrison to sit down for a coffee in the lobby of the Hotel Crescent Court. During that meeting, Harrison would present Pelinka a question that would ultimately shake NBA
I can't believe they did this right out in public. You'd think they'd do it in a room or something, giggity.
history. Would you ever consider swapping Anthony Davis for Luka Dončić?
That started out as a coffee that, was more, hey, would you ever? I don't know.
And Rob kind of thought he was kidding at first, but then he wasn't kidding.
Yes, we would trade for Luka. Thank you.
Yeah.
From Nico's perspective, this was a move to pair his two old Nike clients together, addressing the major defensive concerns of the Mavericks, all while getting off a superstar with questionable work ethics. Anthony Davis, not to mention, is coming off his healthiest year in the league, another Olympic gold medal, and was a top contender in the MVP race earlier this season.
It's so hard, you guys, because you got a guy with a bad work ethic and he's lazy on defense, and then you got a guy who's got a great work ethic and he's great on defense, but he's so injury prone. Like, pick your poison.
Without Mark Cuban, this will also be an easy decision to convince the new ownership group. But for Pelinka, this was an opportunity for an all-time heist. The perfect superstar to bridge the gap between the current and the future. A redo of the Chris Paul trade. This was the moment Rob Pelinka had been waiting for. This was Pelinka's get-out-of-jail-free card. But surely it's too good to be true. There were 3 examples that Pelinka likely had in mind. The Kobe Bryant trade demand that ultimately went nowhere, the Chris Paul trade that was vetoed by the league, and his recent pursuit of AD and Kawhi Leonard. What did all of these failed trades have in common? They all went public before a deal had gone through, becoming a spectacle and ultimately leading to pressure to inaction.
Man, I just got to go back real quick. If this trade went through, the Chris Paul trade went through, this was 2011. Does the Miami Heat Big Three ever win a championship, even win one? Because it was, 2012, 2013 that they won, right? I don't think they win. I don't think they would have won one. It could have been a completely failed experiment. I mean, it already was, but at least they got two championships to their name. But I don't think they would have won a single one.
What did all of these failed trades have in common? They all went public before a deal had gone through, becoming a spectacle and ultimately leading to pressure to inaction. Pelinka knew that for this to work out, they had to keep it on the low, suggesting the same to Nico Harrison as the two began negotiating in the shadows. Pelinka,
when that got back to LeBron and AD, that's when you got that Shams report. LeBron and AD are, quote, concerned.
On January 23rd, Anthony Davis would sit down with Shams Charania to specifically demand the Lakers to make a move before the deadline.
I think we need another big. I feel like I've always been at my best when I've been the 4.
Unbeknownst to AD was that Pelinka was actually hard at work, and after canvassing the league, Pelinka came to the conclusion that for the Lakers to truly become a contender with Doncic, he would need at least 1 first-round pick remaining.
Wait a second, was this the ultimate FU to both of them from Rob Pelinka? Okay, if these two came out and said, is that like 4 or 5? Okay, so these two came out and said, so LeBron and AD said they're concerned with the Lakers' ability to make upgrades, right? They said that. And then guess what? He goes, you're out, and I'm replacing you with Luka. Did that just happen? Because I'm telling you, Rob Pelinka's a snake. And I think he might have just done the ultimate double whammy. All right, we made an upgrade. We upgraded from you. And LeBron, yeah, we upgraded too. You're now the co-star. Am I crazy, y'all?
And after canvassing the league, Pelinka came to the conclusion that for the Lakers to truly become a contender with Doncic, he would need at least 1 first-round pick remaining, meaning he can't send out both first-round picks in a trade for Doncic. Hence, Rob had to do what Rob knew best, gaslight Nico Harrison into thinking that this was actually a risk for the Lakers.
One of my sources inside the Lakers was indicating that the deal was bigger, that there were 2 firsts, and there was Dalton Connect. And the deal got whittled down because I think Rob Pelinka was able to convince the Dallas Mavericks that Luka is a lot of risk.
Yeah.
You guys are right for trying to look at this way because this guy, is drinking or is whatever, his weight problem, whatever it is.
But that's also not enough. Pelinka also had to convince Nico Harrison that keeping this negotiation a secret was Nico's own idea. How did Pelinka go about it? Well, this is speculation, but there is one similar situation that happened earlier in their careers where both Pelinka and Nico Harrison had lived through. the Kobe Bryant trade request.
Uh-huh.
When Kobe was able to influence the team's decision once he got wind of the deal. Well, Nico, do you really want Luka now to get a wind of what we're doing here?
One of the reasons
That's
why
true.
the Lakers...
That is a really good point by Wu. Yeah. I mean, because we all know if they asked Luka would not have agreed to this. There's no way in hell he was going to agree to this for multiple reasons. One, he loved Dallas. Two, because of the money. Let's be real. He was not going to agree to this. And then three, he's playing for a title contender in Dallas. They just went to the finals last year. And then now they're going to trade him to a team that has no shot in hell. You know, not only that, but they're taking away their big, which is Anthony Davis. Like, no way would he agree to any of this. It's just going to be the Luka and LeBron show out there. Yeah, that's a good point.
Were able to keep their second first-round pick is that the Lakers wanted to talk to Luka and say, hey, if we trade for you, will you sign here this summer? Right. And the Mavericks didn't want Luka to know. They wanted to get this deal done, and so they said, no, you can't. So Lakers said, well, you know, we may, you know, if we get here and Luka says, no, I got to have this player or this, we need something to trade for it. And the Mavericks were like, okay, keeping this quiet is worth maybe even giving up another Laker pick.
Yeah.
Because I think they were worried about what would happen if it got public.
On February 1st, during the middle of the night, Luka Dončić, along with Markieff Morris and Maxi Kleber, will be traded for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick.
Can you guys tell me in the comments if you understand what the heck Utah was involved in this for? What does this have to do with anything? I can't quite put my finger on it or understand what their involvement was. Why did they have to get involved for this to happen? Why wasn't it just this for this?
At Nico Harrison's press conference the following day, he would personally thank Pelinka for being able to keep this negotiation a secret.
And I'd like to give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit. You know, trades, you guys have been around here, trades don't happen at the smallest level without stuff getting out. And Rob and I were able to have, you know, really intense conversations over the course of, you know, 3 or 4 weeks. You know, we kept it between us. We had to keep it tight.
Mavericks governor Patrick Dumont would also come out with a statement of his own.
Listen to this. If you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. If you want to take a vacation, don't do it with us.
On the Lakers side, Rob Pelinka...
Guys, I hate to say it, but... Dude, their new majority owner right here, it just screams a dude who just never worked a day in his life and just inherited a bunch of money. Like, the team is like a toy to him. I think the Dallas Mavericks are going down. Now, especially after watching this. I had some stutters. I had some suspicions already, but after watching this and seeing the full breakdown here, this guy's going to destroy the team. I'm calling it. Kyrie, get the hell out of there, man. I was wrong. Even if you win a championship this year, get the hell out. Get the hell out. They're not interested in basketball. These are real estate people. They're interested in real estate.
Will use the leftover first-round pick to trade for Charlotte Hornets big man, Mark Williams. Pelinka's rationale when being asked for finally going all in, quote, "We have 2 top 5, top 10 players in the world, and we just saw this as an opportunity to give those 2 players all the resources they need to make a playoff run." In Anthony Davis's first game as a Dallas Maverick, a dominant debut will be cut short as he would suffer an injury, sidelining him for weeks to come.
Yeah.
Hours later, it will be announced that due to a failed physical, the Lakers would rescind their trade for Mark Williams. The first-round pick that the Lakers fought so hard to save would have to be used at a later date. For what comes next, we're still living through it. But for as crazy of a moment as this was in the league, the seeds have been planted all along.
Damn. What a video.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Danny Wu. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll keep doing my part in putting out more videos. I usually don't cover current day topics, but as my last video was dropped right before this trade happened, I knew it was only right to make a video on this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I don't really talk too much about the current stuff either, but yeah, this trade, there's so much to this one that I just, ever since I heard about it and I got done with my initial reaction, it was just like, there's something fishy going on. And that's why I've been so intrigued by it. It's not because of like, I'm excited, oh, Luka and LeBron. I've watched 2 games with them together so far. It's nothing special, you guys. It's, you know, if you guys have seen it, you probably have, like, if it's nothing really special. But I'm more intrigued because whatever's going on, I don't trust it. And once I question something and I doubt something, I tend to go down a rabbit hole. But I didn't go down a rabbit hole quite to the level that Wu did. This is probably your best video. This is probably his best video I've seen so far. Great work. And if this is why I said I've been really intrigued by his channel so far. You guys subscribe to his channel if you enjoyed this. I definitely did. I'm glad I randomly came across his channel. And yeah, I'm going to continue to check out his videos in the future. Anyways, everyone, let me know what you think. Did you learn some stuff here? I definitely did. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at, I mean, Rob Pelinka I already knew. All this did was just confirm everything for me, or reaffirm it. And as far as the Dallas owners, I'm going to have my eyes on them. I understand why there's so many theories going around right now about them, because they don't see, dude, the contrast between a legit, like, honest dude like Mark Cuban, who just says what he feels, and then he does it, you know, it's like actions and words are lining up. And then to see these new owners, wow, what a contrast. What a contrast. All right, everyone, I'm out of here. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And hit that bell notification if you want to get notified for the next one. Everyone have a wonderful, peaceful night. Beware of snakes. They are everywhere. Look for the signs. Actions and words, my friends. Actions and words. If actions don't line up with words, get out. I'm out of here. Peace out.